Easter Sunday, 1975. While families celebrated the Easter holiday with the traditional egg hunts and dinners together, one could hardly imagine this being the day for one of the deadliest shootings inside a private residence in United States history. "1970s Hamilton, Ohio, was a typical town at the time. People went about their business with little suspicion that a fellow citizen was plotting a killing spree that would haunt the city for years to come. James Rupert, born in 1934 to Leonard and Charity, lived a troubled life. His father, who had a violent temper, died when he was only 12. His mother often told him, "I wish you would have been a daughter." Leonard Jr., his brother, and new father figure, would often tell James, "You're a weakling." The hatred and resentment began brewing inside James at a young age. Jealousy and anger towards his brother Leonard continued into adulthood as he was much more successful, even marrying James' ex-girlfriend. His behavior became more erratic. The day before Easter, James was seen taking target practice at a nearby river. The night before Easter, James went to a bar, drinking heavily, and befriended a woman with whom he complained of his family, alluding to solving the problem. James would arrive back to his mother Charity's home, where he lived, that night to sleep off the drinking. Easter festivities began at the Rupert home when Leonard and his wife, Alma, brought their 8 children to celebrate with their grandmother, Charity. The family began preparing lunch and enjoying an Easter egg hunt in the backyard. James awoke around 4 p.m. He began loading a .357 Magnum, 2 .22 caliber handguns, and a rifle. He then proceeded downstairs. Charity was preparing lunch in the kitchen. Most of the children were playing in the living room. Entering the kitchen, he first shot and killed his brother Leonard, then his sister-in-law, and his mother. Next, he took the life of his nephew David and his nieces Teresa and Carol, all in the confines of the kitchen. Rupert then proceeded to the living room, where he killed his niece, Anne, and his 4 remaining nephews, Leonard III, Michael, Thomas, and John. 1 child had been shot once in the chest. The remaining 10 victims had been shot 3 times to ensure they had died. The massacre was over within 5 minutes. After spending 3 hours in the house, James finally called police to report the shooting. He waited just inside the front door for authorities to arrive. The murder shocked the town of Hamilton and the entire country. Those who knew James Rupert did not think he was capable of violence, especially at the magnitude of this particular massacre. By all accounts, neighbors considered the Ruperts a nice family. James was arrested and charged that day with 11 counts of aggravated homicide. He refused to answer questions asked by the police and was very uncooperative. He made it clear he would plead insanity. County Prosecutor John Holcomb viewed the crime scene and stated that there was so much blood on the first floor, it was dripping through the floorboards into the basement, which to this day can still be seen on the wood. Rupert had fired a total of 35 rounds, and all 4 weapons were recovered on the scene. The original trial was held in Hamilton, Ohio. The 3-judge panel found Rupert guilty on 11 counts of murder, and sentenced him to life in prison. A mistrial was declared, and it was decided that the retrial would be held in Findlay, Ohio, 125 miles north, because it was believed he could not receive a fair trial in the city of Hamilton. The second trial began in June 1975, and prosecutors revealed evidence involving the witnesses who had seen Rupert engaging in target practice, asking about silencers for his gun collection, and admitting that his mother's expectations were a problem that he needed to solve. In July 1975, Rupert received 11 consecutive life sentences. As of December 2019, Rupert remains incarcerated in the Franklin Medical Center in Columbus, Ohio. In June 1995, at the age of 61, he was granted a hearing before the State Parole Board, but his release was denied. He received another hearing in April of 2015, at which release was again denied. Rupert's next hearing is set for February 2025, when he will be 90. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for new content and be sure to like and subscribe. Stay safe.